I want to make something clear while we go through like the Back to the War omnibus and these early appearances of Punisher. He is a sidekick character, for lack of a better term, in a lot of these. Um, and these two issues, especially the first one of these two issues, uh, that is very present. And I'm going to be talking about Amazing Spider Man issues 161 and 162, which in this, someone pretending to be the Punisher and just murdering civilians. Spider Man's trying to stop it, and also Nightcrawler from the X-Men's trying to stop this because one of his friends, one of his human friends, has been murdered. And who could it be? Oh, it can't be the Punisher. In fact, the Punisher barely shows up in issue 161. And I'm going to spoil 162. The villain reveal, although at the time I think they thought this was a one-off villain, it's Jigsaw. Now, some of you might not know who Jigsaw is, but he's probably the Punisher's number one recurring villain because basically you come to this problem with the Punisher. Punisher kills his enemies, except for a handful of them. And I can name them on one hand. Number one is Jigsaw. Jigsaw comes back all the time. It's like whenever they need like a Hail Mary play to make like a decent Punisher story, they bring back Jigsaw, though it doesn't always work. The other one is Ma Nucci, who's Garth Ennis regular. I mean, they brought her back like 3 times. And the other one is Barracuda. And Barracuda's a Max character, not in the main continuity, at least not that I'm aware of. And he not only is a Punisher villain, he also becomes a Nick Fury villain, which I'll get to that eventually. Those other two, they won't show up for a while, but this is Jigsaw's first appearance. And Jigsaw's big thing is he was a low-level mafia member. Punisher threw him out a window and ruined his face. Now, the thing with Jigsaw is we've had 2 film appearances of him. He was the villain in Punisher Warzone, and he was also a villain in both seasons of the John Bernthal Punisher series. And he was also planned to be the villain in, if there was going to be a second Thomas Jane Punisher movie, which ended up kind of becoming what the Punisher video game for the PlayStation 2 and Xbox was. Although they changed it to Howard Saint's son, which is weird. But Jigsaw's origins have changed a few times. Like with comic books that run a long time, that just happens. They modernize it, quote unquote. But I really like these 2 issues. And not necessarily because of Punisher. It's nice to see Nightcrawler interacting with Spider-Man. This is the first time these two have met. The X-Men, I think, was getting rebooted at this point, and like they just made a new X-Men series, and I believe Chris Claremont was writing it. This is like the iconic one because Wolverine's in one of these issues, and Wolverine's not quite what Wolverine is now. He's kind of goofy and an a-hole. Also Colossus. It's just fun to see the X-Men. They're those two, or I just mentioned, are barely involved, but it's nice to see Nightcrawler and Spider-Man fighting one another. It's fun, and then they're fighting the Punisher, and I just really like the team up. This is also the first time they forced Punisher to use rubber bullets, so that's a thing that continuously happens with the Punisher character when he teams up with other people. I mean, even into the modern era, they would have that be a caveat they'd have to do. So, anyway, what would I give these 2 issues? Probably a good 4 out of 5. Pretty solid. We do have some Spider-Man continuity going on with, like, you're going to see going through the Back to the War omnibus. there's a lot of Spider-Man sub stories that take like some panels up that don't lead to the story you're reading, but it's just other things. We got like a Harry Osborn subplot again going on, as well as like a J. Jonah Jameson subplot. Because I'm going to be talking, the next two issues I'm going to talk about, they're closer in time with these two, so that plot thread's still going on. So, anyway. Have a good one.